All right, since you missed my reading, it's all good. I would like to recap, and this will be easier. Plus, this will help me kind of recap where I need to go into the book. So I'm going to just start doing this with all my books. All right, chapter 2, what do boundaries look like? Boundaries are like invisible property lines, and it's a line of responsibilities. You first, before you define what a boundary is, you need to know what is me and what is not me. So you need to know what things are you're responsible for and what things you're not responsible for. 2 and 4 is another chapter heading. You also need to know when it comes to boundaries is like putting up a fence. With a fence needs to have a gate. If boundaries is a property line, you need to have a gate on your boundaries to let good things in and to keep bad things out. You need to allow bad things to leave your body, to leave your spirit, to leave your area. But you also need to allow good things in. And that's what boundaries help you do by having a gate system on your property line of your life. You also need to understand God, and you have to understand God's boundaries for life in general, because why? We live in a God-fearing world. So you have to have an understanding of what God wants for you in your life. Examples of boundaries that God has are basic boundaries, but they're all in the human experience. Skin is a boundary. Your words have boundaries. The truth has boundaries. Geographical distance. Sometimes you need to take geographical distance as a boundary between people when they cause you anger or if they cause you even happiness. You need to have a closer geographical boundaries to things that serve you, and you need to have a further geographical boundary to things that don't. You also need to have time boundaries, boundaries on your time, what you serve and give your time to. You need to have emotional distance boundaries. Emotional distance is a boundary that your heart needs to feel safe and to, never have a permanent way of living just based on your feelings. Other people's boundaries. You need to have a consequential boundaries. There's consequences to actions. What's within your boundaries? You need to understand your boundaries. Your feelings. Your feelings need to have boundaries. Your attitudes and beliefs. Your attitudes have to do with your orientation towards something and the stance that you take towards others. Behaviors. You need to have good behavioral boundaries, because why? You reap what you sow. That was the point of that paragraph. Your choices. A common boundary problem is disowning your choices and trying to lay responsibilities on other people. Those are boundary issues. You need to have value boundaries. You need to value or have value towards certain choices. What you value is what you love and assign importance to. So you can have a boundary on the things that you value. And you need to set limits. Limits is another huge bold heading in here about how you create limits on things. And these are the lines that people should not cross with your life and other people's lives. You should not cross. And it talks about the different things. And even set in the last thing that it talks about, or no, not even the last thing. Man, we're still going in chapter 2. Your thoughts. Your thoughts should have boundaries. Yes, you should have desires. I got this thing on my lip and it's bothering me because I'm looking at myself. But your thoughts should have boundaries. You should have an unlimited way of thinking, but certain thoughts, you need to be able to keep them within a margin. Your desires. This chapter was huge for me because I have some crazy desires, but you first need to acknowledge, what do you truly desire? What do you truly want out of your life experience? And then the last boundary that it has is your boundaries on love. As you know, love is the most powerful thing that we have on the planet. And who you give love to, how you love yourself, and how you commune with others is the biggest boundary you need to put in place to guard your heart and to guard your life. This is my summary of chapter 2. This book is incredible. It's called Boundaries. I know it's probably flipped. I'll probably have to flip it so you can see it. All right, y'all. Man, stay encouraged. Stay pouring self-love into yourself. But yeah, check this book out. You need to get on it.